You've been silenced for very long, and every time you try to resist, they put you in jail.
For my children.
They've controlled your mind for so long to the point where you let them decide what your kids should learn, what gender they will be. And now you've let them to come for the whole nation, destroying what Britain once stood up for. They use this media machine not to report the facts to you, but to tell you what to think and what you should do.
Always be careful.
They're hiding the facts behind the noise, and they're recruiting pedophiles to tell you how to behave. And these politicians who meant to protect you, they're out there smashing your head on the ground. And no jail time for them. This road we've been on has been very dark for a very long time, and it's time to shine a light on the truth and advocate for justice. We the people make the nation, and if we don't stand up and advocate for justice, then we certainly won't make this nation great again. So we have to create a place for that, a place that can contribute to a more informed society. And that place is Next Frontier Media.
To stand in defiance with all of you then, and it is now, because we stood up then because we knew, as we know now, that the power is with the people, the power is with us. Thank you very much. Governments answer to us, not the other way around. And what we've allowed over the years is we've allowed ourselves to be gaslit and fooled and conned and divided and terrified into accepting the reverse. Well, that stops now. Now, back in 2020, this is the main difference here, because right now we're being asked to accept something that none of us want. Absolutely no one wants digital ID at all. But in 2020, when we stood up, we were the minority, and we were fighting back not just against the state, but we were fighting back against our friends, family members sometimes, work colleagues, employers, Jeremy Vine. But we're the majority now. We have the numbers that we didn't have back in 2020. Now that's not to say that, you know, fighting back against digital ID is going to be simple or easy or without sacrifice, because we will be asked to give up stuff that we love and things that we hold dear and take for granted to resist digital ID. And that, I think, is a conversation that all of us are going to have with ourselves at some point. What are we willing to give up? What are we willing not to do that we normally did in order to stand back and refuse digital ID? Because let's have it right, they will put those blockages in the way for all of us. And of course that's a conversation we have with ourselves, and only we can answer how far we're willing to go. But I will say that if you're coming into this battle with the attitude of, I'm going to resist digital ID unless, or I'm going to refuse to submit to digital ID, but if they do X, Y, and Z, then you may as well put up that white flag and sign on the dotted line now, because they will put those blockages in place. But let me frame the question in a different way. Instead of asking ourselves, what are we going to be giving up if we comply, or if we don't comply, and we refuse digital ID, ask yourselves, what will you be giving up if you do comply with digital ID? What will you be sacrificing on the altar of you'll own nothing, you'll have no privacy, but you'll be bloody miserable? We'll be giving away our freedoms, our children's freedoms, our grandchildren's freedoms. We'll be giving away our rights to where we can go, what we can do, what we can buy, whether we can access our money, what we can say, what we can hear. We'll be giving away our children's futures. We'll be giving away their freedoms. They will never experience true freedom because we will have given it away on their behalf. They will never be able to be uniquely themselves, to express themselves freely, because we gave it away on their behalf. Now, as I say, they're going to put all these blockages in our way, and they're going to try and make it difficult for us to resist digital ID. They're going to gaslight us some more. They're going to try and fool us and hoodwink us into accepting it. Because I understand, ladies and gentlemen, that our digital prison is being built around us all the time. I'm not a fool. I know that it's coming in many and various ways. But digital ID is the bedrock that all this stuff is built upon. I said it was a ridiculous analogy, but it kind of worked-ish, so I'm going to repeat it. For me, digital ID is the pizza base, and all the other aspects are just the toppings. Without the base, you've got a very messy kitchen. And that's why it's so important for us to resist digital ID. Because digital ID is the padlock that closes that door shut if we allow it. And that's the most important point here, if we allow it. They're trying to fool us. They're trying to terrify us and divide us into accepting digital ID because they know they can't do it without our consent. If they could steamroller over us and bring in this hellscape without us agreeing, trust me, they would. But they can't, because that's not how this dynamic works. Every single one of you here, and every single person watching on a live stream, and every single person going to say, you know, hallelujah and stuff with Tommy, every single one of them is a miracle. Whatever it takes in terms of the neurons that need to fire, the electronic impulses through our nerves, for us to just get out of bed in the morning is an absolute miracle. Every life that comes into this world is a miracle. You're not a number, you're not a barcode, you're not a QR code, and you're not a state asset. We are free human beings, and we decide our future, not Larry Ellison or Tony Blair or Zippy from Rainbow or any of his Ukrainian arsonists, none of them. We decide our futures, not them. Now, I'm absolutely sure that they will seek to divide us, and they will throw dirty tricks there to get us to turn on each other, because they know that when we stand together as one, we are uncontrollable and unbeatable. So when they throw in those dirty tricks to get us to turn on each other, we need to refuse. We say, no, I'm not going to hate each other, I'm not going to hate my neighbour, I'm not going to fall for this. We put all our differences aside. We can go back to hating each other tomorrow, that's fine. We can argue tomorrow. But when it comes to digital ID, they're coming for all of us. It doesn't matter what differences we have between us, and I'm sure there's a multitude of differences. Me and that flag for one. There's a multitude of differences. But we have so much more in common than we do that divides us. And they know that the only way they can get us to submit is by dividing us. So let's see that play of divide and rule as a positive thing, because what it means is they know they can't do it when we're together. They know that we have the power, and the only power that Zippy from Rainbow and all the rest of them have is the power that we give to them. So let's refuse to hand over that power. We do not bend, we do not break, we do not kneel at the feet of Xerxes at the hot gates. We do not accept that 30 pieces of short-term convenient silver. We stand together, united. When those literal or metaphorical jackboots come to our door, we stand tall and we look that enemy in the eye, and we refuse to blink. And perhaps more importantly, we refuse to stand aside when those jackboots come to the doors of our neighbour. Like I say, we can fight again tomorrow if we need to. But for now, let us unite. And let us remind those that would rule over us that while some tyrannies last longer than others, in the end they all ultimately crumble. Because when faced with the indomitable force of the collective human spirit, evil will never win the day. No more false heroes, no more idols, no more saviors. The person that wins this battle is the person that stares back at you every single morning when you're brushing your teeth. And when that reflection stands tall, it puffs out its chest, and it looks these demons in the eye, and it refuses to bow and to comply, then we win, and we win together. And I will just say one final, very quick, short, simplistic message to those demons that seek our destruction. Bring it on. Thank you.
Thank you, man. He's always so inspiring, that man. He always gets me raring to go in the platonic sense. But he's a great speaker. I think you can all agree. And something I wanted to achieve today was to demonstrate that this is not a political issue. It doesn't matter where you stand, on the left or the right, centre, populist, it doesn't matter. That wasn't all one word, by the way, but this is a non-partisan issue. It does not matter. It's not Keir Starmer's plan, it's not Together's plan, Labour Together's plan, it's not even Tony Blair's plan. And I think the way that people are looking at it, and what the current government is saying, what if a nefarious future government was to do something? Well, what about the government that we've got now? It doesn't make a difference. This is brilliant. They're not very good weights, are they? So, there are good people in politics. I'm not going to deny there's good people in politics. My personal view is we might not find the answers there. Actually, we definitely won't. But there are very good people who are trying to make it in politics, and who have been in politics for a while, that really care about the people. And our next speaker, he's a former ambassador to Syria, a former diplomat. He's called out the government. He's called out the government repeatedly, and he's currently the deputy leader of the Workers' Union Party. And so I would like you to give a huge round of applause to Peter Ford. He does care. He is a politician and diplomat who cares. So please make some noise for Peter Ford.
Thank you. Thanks, Fiona, and first of all, a massive thanks to Fiona and her team for organising this. Well done, Fiona. She's worked against all the odds. People have tried to undermine her. There have been splitters in the movement, but she has held things together. And that's my main message today, unity. I come from a political party, George Galloway's Workers' Party, which is often described as far left. That is not true, but I will not run away from it. I want to say I'm happy to work with politicians on the right, the centre, the Greens, wherever, anybody who is against this digital ID monstrosity. There is really only one wing of the Labour Party which is in favour of this horror, and that's Starmer and Blair behind him and all that wing of the Labour Party. They have to be budged off that position, and we can do it if we stand together. My background was in the Foreign Office. I was an ambassador in the Middle East. My experiences with war and peace. Well, there's only one war going on at the moment, really, one real war. That's the war the government is waging against the British people. We are under siege from the state, from the government, from the security services, from the police. They're arresting our politicians for having the wrong opinions. George Galloway is not able to live in this country at the moment. He was pulled over at the airport recently, given a several-hour grilling, his phone stolen. This is all this done under the counter-terrorism legislation, which is the instrument the government used to terrorize us. It's not to defend us against terrorism, it's to terrorize us, to intimidate people who will not follow the narrative. It's unbelievable that in this country, senior politicians who've been MPs half a dozen times are pulled over on the counter-terrorism legislation. Journalists also pulled over at the airport for having made the mistake of not following the government line on whether it was Russia or climate or whatever. Or the vaccine. We have an anti-vaccine hero here with Mr. Bridgen shortly. And we all come from that background. We're rebels. Starmer has made the mistake of waking up a sleeping giant. We were a giant in the lockdown, anti-lockdown period. Many of us fought in those campaigns, long campaigns over 2 years. And then we went into kind of hibernation. Well, they've woken us up, and we are angry bears. And we will, in the end, turf Starmer out of government. We'll have to do it with the help of other politicians, but the people on the street, like yourselves, this is where the action is today. Thank you very much for coming, and let's keep on united. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Now, I wanted to, again, like I say, put these people next to each other because it's really important that we demonstrate that left and right can stand with each other. But I am going to tell you something because I kind of wanted to prove a point, and I'll prove another point in a minute. But Jeremy Corbyn was invited to speak. Rupert Lowe was invited to speak. Because the test for me is, do you really stand with the people, or do you really think that you just stand in that building and speak for the people? Because my opinion is, they don't speak for us, we can speak for ourselves. And if they won't stand with us, I don't want them speaking for me. And that's where I'm at. That was quite good, wasn't it? That was a bit of a tongue twister. But that's how I truly feel. But talking of good men, and it is very male heavy here today, in the right way. This man has been out since 2020, and I don't know if you saw him in the video that I played at the beginning, but this man has stood so strong, shoulder to shoulder with us. From 2020, he was on the London Assembly and he gave absolute hell to Sadiq Khan and called out every single ridiculous measure. And he spoke at our rallies, he marched with us, and he started what's called the Heritage Party. And this is one of those good men that if he got into that building would do good work. Because again, we might have different opinions and believe different things, but this man truly cares about people, he truly cares about humanity, and he is one of my favourite OGs from 2020. He's got the biggest smile, and I just love this man. Please welcome David Curtin.
Thank you so much, Fiona, for that lovely introduction. And thank you all so much for coming here to stand up for freedom once again in 2025. Yeah! We're going to tell Keir Starmer and his brigade where to go. And when he said that everyone needed to have a digital ID, he totally deceived everyone as to the reason. He said, we need this to stop mass migration, which is a problem that's been created by the people in Parliament, the building behind the stage. We don't need to have mass immigration. They could sort that problem out today if they wanted to, if they stopped the boats coming across the channel. But this is globalist organisations want to bring in this control and surveillance system. Now this country, England, the United Kingdom, is the home of freedom. Even Charlie Kirk, when he spoke, is no longer with us, sadly, but he said, he came over here and said, you have given freedom to the world. The United States is free because of the legacy that you've given us from the United Kingdom. And you people here today have had the courage to come out and put your head above the parapet, show your faces and say that we're going to stand for our ancient freedoms. And that is beautiful. And I thank you so much for doing that. But not just you, 3 million people signed a petition to say, we're not going to have this, turn back your plans, we don't want digital ID. And you know, of course, what the dead, quite predictably, stuff you, we're going to do it anyway. Because that's the disdain they treat ordinary people with. But they're not going to have their way, because we're not going to comply. And the thing is, they brought in law after law, about 20 different laws over the last 10 years that have introduced it piecemeal. Now, this is complicated and a bit technical because Keir Starmer stood up in September and said everyone needs to have a Brits card. Well, that's really a straw man, because as we now know, the Brit card is not the real digital ID that they're going to try and bring in. They're bringing in this system called One Login. And as you know at the moment, if you're a company director, they're trying to coerce you to get a One login and have a unique single identifier whereby the government can monitor you and see what you're doing between different government departments. And they've already rolled that out with the veteran card as well. And the idea is by 2027, every single thing that the interaction you make with the government is going to have to need a One Login and gov.uk wallet on your smartphone. Well, sorry, I'm not going to get any government wallet on my smartphone. I'm going to get a Nokia 3310. And they're not going to be able to track me with that. But they've also brought in laws so that people are getting digital ID and giving up their biometric data without even realising it. Right back in 2017, there were some regulations called the Anti-Money Laundering and Terrorist Finance Regulations, by which they introduced Know Your Customer, that system, whereby if you are a customer of banks for certain banking services and cryptocurrency services and other things, they have to do a check on your identity. Not that you go in and show your face and you go in person like people used to do when we all acted with each other like human beings. They now want everyone just to do this digitally and give a photo of yourself and download documents of yourself issued by the government, which can then be shuffled around from department to department and from business to business, and who knows where those things end up. They don't care about our privacy, and this is one of the worst things about digital ID, that it's going to take away our privacy, and they're already trying to do that. And another thing they're rolling out at the same time, of course, is this facial recognition camera systems where they're live tracking your faces and attempting to identify you, even if you're going about your business walking through a town centre or a city centre. Now, all of this agenda goes together. It's all part of Agenda 2030. It's all part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which you can see. And I get called a conspiracy theorist, but it's on the government website. It's on the UN website. It's not a conspiracy. It's what they're trying to do. And the way we can stop it is by simply not engaging and just going back to being human beings who relate to each other and don't relate to a digital system and don't relate to AI. And that is what we're going to do. And the great thing about you here and the opportunity we have is, though they're trying to take away our privacy and take away our identity, within this we can rediscover our humanity. And we can rediscover the communities that we used to have and the way we used to relate to each other, which they want to take away, which is a part of our spirit, and they can never take away our human spirit. And that is why they will fail. Keir Starmer will fail, Tony Blair will fail, Klaus Schwab will fail, Bill Gates will fail, the World Economic Forum will fail, the United Nations will fail, everyone who wants to oppress us will fail, and we will be free! Thank you so much, God bless you all, walk in your freedom and take back our nation for you and for our children. Thank you so much, everyone.
All the good men, you see. There are good men. That man should be in that building. And by that building, I mean Parliament. It's a bit of a demon pit at the moment. Let's get them all out of the way, shall we? The next man, another good man, a man I work closely with, when he spoke about the COVID jab harms in December of 2022. He's spoken before that, but this man stood for the COVID jab injured and bereaved like nobody and was completely shunned in that house. And the next vote was totally rigged, and he should still have that seat. Because this man can admit that maybe he was wrong a few years ago, but he's done everything he can to fight for people who've been injured and killed by something that the government told them was safe and effective. And he's done more than that. Mr. Bridgen, our next speaker, woo! Mr. Bridgen is a wonderful man. He is travelling around telling the truth. This man is speaking out against the globalists and the in Parliament, because we're expected to believe that the people in Parliament are intelligent men and women, but I doubt that very much when they don't know that this, what we're facing now, digital ID, is above the level of nation, but this man does now. Please welcome Andrew Bridgen and make some noise.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. They will tell you that digital ID, you should give up some of your freedom for and convenience, end up with neither freedom nor security. And the only convenience will be that the state will find it far easier to manage every part of your and my lives with digital ID. Digital ID is absolutely fundamental for Agenda 2030. If we can stop digital ID, we can stop Agenda 2030 and we can have our freedom. Now, it was 3 years ago today, on the 13th of December 2022, I stood up in the house behind us on the corner and stopped the government vaccinating healthy under 5s with the COVID-19 vaccines. The same politicians who told you that the vaccines were safe and effective are telling you that you need digital ID. Keir Starmer did not have digital ID in his manifesto. He barely got a third of the votes in the country, barely 20% of the adults who could have voted. He has no mandate to take away our freedoms. He has no authority, and the good news is that 2/3 of the public are already against digital ID, and the more they find out about it, the less they are going to like it, I assure you. Digital ID is a trap, and it's always better to avoid a trap than to try and get out of it once we're in it. If you say yes to digital ID, I fear you'll never be able to say no to the government ever again. And to trust any government with the power that digital ID gives over you is amazing. How many people in the audience trust Keir Starmer's government? Well, imagine, you'd be placing your trust not only in Keir Starmer's government at the moment, but in every future government that is yet to be elected or appointed to the house behind us. It is a one-way street. Once you give these freedoms away, you will never get them back. And more importantly, you'll be giving away not only your freedom, but vicariously you'll be giving away your neighbour's freedom if you comply. You'll be giving away your children's freedom. You'll be giving away your grandchildren's freedom. And you will be giving away the freedom of generations of our nation yet unborn. Not in my name. It's not our freedom to give away. We will win. God bless you all and thank you.
Get to your meeting. Can I tell people what meeting it is? No, I'm not allowed apparently. Everything's so secret until it, doesn't come out in the press. What am I doing now? I've completely forgotten. Oh, so now, yeah, you're reminding me now. I made a bit of a statement in Parliament because I firmly believe that we can't vote our way out of this. We can't sign petitions to get out of this because it is above the level of nation. And the whole point of doing today is to hear from those people, to educate, to empower, to inform, so you guys can go out and you can tell other people and share the information, because I don't think we're going to get the answers at all that we need from that Parliament, government, executive, PM, doesn't matter who they are. And I think I actually made that quite clear on Monday just gone.
I mean, there is a power, because there simply isn't. Thank the Honourable Member. I thank the Honourable Member for giving way. Is he proposing that the police have the right to demand the access?
We don't want this and we will not comply. You can have it.
Is he proposing that the police have access to the digital ID to bring right to work on the spot?
People say no, we will not.
The messenger must remove this person immediately. Don't just stand there.
I mean, I love that because they make it so clear that they call me a person, because they probably weren't sure if I was a they or a them, you know. Remove this post. I mean, come on. I know I've got this voice that I've got, but I'm definitely female. But they don't do it. It just shows it runs through everything. Every agenda runs through everything. And I have been reduced on the Hansard's transcript to interruption, which I like being, to be honest with you. So I think that makes clear what I actually think of them, because I don't want anyone to speak for me. I don't need them to speak for me. I don't need them to debate for me. I don't need them to assure me or tell me that, oh, don't worry, it's going to be safe and we'll make, no, I don't need any promises, assurances or guarantees that nothing bad's going to happen, because I know exactly where this is coming from. And I know that you are going to hear this more and more and more, but it's really important that people do know thine enemy and know their plan. This is above the level of nation. This is a globalist dictator handed down to every 193 member states of the United Nations. This is not something that petitioning our government is going to stop. Keir Starmer and every global leader basically is a World Economic Forum puppet, and Tony Blair is their demonic, evil henchman frontman. We should not tolerate this. And this is why sometimes I look back into 2020 and I see what people actually put up with. We were brutalised by the Metropolitan Police that are stood around today. And you literally beat people with batons. You trampled them with your mounted police. A man died in Trafalgar Square. Nothing was said about that because you smashed him so hard to the ground that his head basically burst. You stormed the stage of Trafalgar Square, and in the CAG notes in my trial it said, even though there are women and children, arrest the organisers and storm that stage. You don't care about the people. And there will come a day that where I was just following orders will basically be like Nuremberg 2, but it's not going to be the same thing, because it's not going to be more government and political leaders holding you to account. It will be the people holding you to account. And I'm actually getting, you know, look, I'm talking, to you, to all of you police officers. They do fucking care. Alright, they do, because it is coming for you as well, and I'm sorry for my language there, guys, I'm sorry if there's children around. They do care, and they know that we are a threat. That's why they try to make protest impossible. They don't want these gatherings, and I look at some of the gatherings from 2020 when it was basically, allegedly, against the law and illegal to go out of your house more than 5 miles. I mean, how ridiculous was that? There was people out protesting, not wearing a mask, not following any of those orders and standing up to these people. Where is everyone gone? Where is everyone? You guys here are amazing. I'm so glad that you're here. But we are facing the biggest existential threat to humanity that we've ever faced. Where is everyone? I am going to call it as I see it. I see some faces that I recognise. I see quite a few faces I recognise. And you are wonderful people. Hello. But the point is, I'm not being funny, and I'm just, like I said, I've got no F's left to give now. That's where I'm at. I've been doing this for nearly 6 years. We have been fighting relentlessly for humanity and for our children. Where is everyone? Because it's not like it's in the actual headlines. And you know what's going on? Is this nonsense, divide and conquer, from people allegedly on our side, who are saying shit about other people who are allegedly on our side, and everyone listens to it. Trolls sit there online. I'm not just talking about me because I'm not the only one that gets it, but I've had enough. I'll be honest with you, I've completely had enough, because it has destroyed what was the greatest movement that the United Kingdom has ever seen, better than Unite the Kingdom. There was more people out in 2020 as 2022 moving together. Race, faith, ideology didn't matter. Standing up to the barbaric police, ready to face off with them. Do you remember being here on Whitehall? Stood face to face with the riot police. I want that back. I want to know that I'm standing next to someone who's willing to go as far as I'm willing to go. Because I have no F's left to give, and I'll say it how it is. And I think our next speaker actually is going to be, he's super sweet, so I got you all riled up there. And anyway, our next speaker, he is someone who did speak out very, very early on. He is a surgeon. He's now a podcaster. I've got it mixed up, but oh no, I did it wrong. But you could know, okay, I'll do you instead. I don't mean that. Oh Christ. Our next speaker, right, is from Italy. He has flown all the way from Italy to be here today. So that's how much he cares. That was actually quite a good segue, right? This man has had, he's like the male version of me in Italy, right? Over 100,000 people in the city of Rome, and he kept
Guys, I really do need to talk to you guys honestly for a moment. You know, this channel means everything to me, right? It means absolutely the world to me. I give everything I can. I think it's my favorite part of the day, sitting here and reporting to you guys, or going outside and doing heavy reports outside. And I've been doing this since I was 14, on and off. I've quit multiple times, I've come back, I've quit, I've come back, and now I'm here, and we're here to stay. This is the next 40 years plan for me. But honestly, lately, it's been really heavy on me. Not the work, of course, I enjoy doing this, but carrying the work alone, fighting for stories, trying to highlight these stories that matters, especially when it feels like nobody's listening and need your help. I wouldn't be asking if I truly didn't need your support. So if you believe in what we're doing here, if you believe in what I'm doing, what we're trying to build the next 30 years, if you've ever felt like this show speaks for you, I'm asking you as a friend, please keep this show going. Your support will mean more than you will ever know. And together we can finally wake up the ones who are still asleep with the truth, because the nation is desperately asking for it. So please, hit the first link in the description if you can and support the channel. Thank you so much. Let's get back into the video.
To be ashamed. We were really tired to sleep while the system does what they want and control everything and call it say, fuck the system. We are totally disappointed to believe and hear your lies from people that totally doesn't care about us and you. Don't we have enough digital in our world? What we will leave to our kids? I'm here with my family and really mess up what's happening. We must fight We have to work together, and I'm really proud to be a part of this big international team, and representing Italy for me is a goal, because I never thought 5 years ago to be here in London with Fiona, with David Icke, and with all of you. So thank you to be here. I know you love Italy, and I see that it's not in Italy, like in London, divide et impera. Two organizations behind. It's not good, but doesn't matter. I'm sure you know it. This is not evolution. This is a satanic attack to the human race. When I say it, when I heard about Pope Francis, do you remember Pope Francis? The best PR of COVID management. When I see my friends be killed from unable therapy, I see there's something not good or evil happening. We understand that in Italy was the first state be involved in this situation because they know that in Italy they could do it. It's our turn to open the eyes of the people. I know that every people here knows what's happening, but all people around us are blind. They don't understand the problem and the fault. They sold out on the same politician that speak with us. I know that we are all awake, but our mission is to wake up all the people around us, the kids and the adolescents, the teens before, because the word that we gave them, it's our fault, it's not good. I know that they will never fuck us with digital ID, but maybe with the teens they could do it. So we have to be really on the pace. I don't will let them to be part of a matrix experience, because it's a matrix experience or a black mirror fucking authority society. I don't want that for them, and you know that we need it. So I would like to close my speech with a David Icke masterpiece. We became lions. We are all lions, and we are the dance of the moon and the sun on the earth. Don't forget this. Last thing I want to say, thanks a lot of you guys. Greetings from Venice, Italy, where I come, and it's a big honor for me to be a part of this great awakening revolution. Thanks all. Thanks Fiona for everything.
He's advice to one like me if you only knew him a little bit better. But I love it. Ricardo wanted to come here, he wanted to speak to you in London, and I really admire that spirit. I mean, I travel everywhere with my own money. I've been going up and down the UK for this particular campaign, speaking in Cardiff, Newcastle, Birmingham, Liverpool, back down to London, because I feel that strongly about this, knowing that this is it, this is the fight. It's over if we don't win this. But I have faith that we absolutely will, and I want you to hear from people who give fair warning and who gave fair warning. And I think one thing that we know is about the COVID jabs, again, I mentioned that when Andrew Bridgen came to speak, but the next man is that surgeon that I was talking about, that is now a podcaster, that did warn about these harms. And we did try to tell people, we did try to inform people, many of you were out, and we know now that with the digital ID, it does not just mean a digital version of you on your phone. It's not just your credentials, your age, your face and whatever. It's not just that, right? We need to scrap that now. It's not just a digital identification or a verification of you. It isn't. It's so much more than that. And in the UK, the Gov UK wallet's already rolled out. And one thing that's going to be on there is a vaccine passport. And I think we've seen that before. And just like we pushed back the NHS mandates, we pushed back these vaccine passports, but that was a trial. They've got the infrastructure, the technology, and we need to keep fighting back. So I think we need to hear from people like this. So please welcome to the stage, Doc Malik.
Hello everybody. Never done this before, always a first. Right, before I start, I just want to acknowledge and thank Fiona for organising this. Thank you, Fiona. And also for inviting me to speak. She might regret that. Anyway, I'd also like to ask everybody if you can just spare £1 and donate to Fiona's Buy Me a Coffee, because she spent thousands on all of this. I think it would mean a lot to her. So thank you if you can do that. I'd also like to thank Phil Wiseman. I don't know where he is. There he is. Guys, this guy made the documentary, The Agenda. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And if you can, share it with everybody. It's a masterpiece. So folks, in another life, Doc Malik used to be a consultant orthopedic surgeon. I now identify as a fisherman, as you can see. But seriously, let's talk about digital ID. I know you've already heard quite a bit about digital ID. I'll just give you my spin. I look at all of you, and I think, there's not very many of us, right? We're on that march, and we're thinking, bloody hell. But you know what? Rare things are precious. And you guys are precious. Remember when we walked past all the
Yeah, so after Malik, you are on. You ready?
Oh God.
I'm nervous. You're going to do fucking amazing.
Oh God.
Great, hair's good.
Okay.
Epic.
Okay.
Nice to see a nice young lady.
Shitting myself.
You know, politically things are going to change soon, don't you?
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
Things are going to swing left, so
Yeah.
hedge your bets.
Oh great. Grabbed the wrong paper as I was feeling. Looks like I'm winging it.
You're going to be great.
I loved the video you made like from the last protest.
Oh,
It was
thank
really
you.
good, yeah.
Thank you.
It was one of my favorite ones.
Oh, I really
Yeah, it was
appreciate
put
that.
together so well.
Thank you. It's all because of the people that I work with. I'm very grateful to have an amazing team.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was so good. I posted it straight away.
I just thought it was great people. We are sending a message to our children and our grandchildren.
So the police killed
And
someone.
that's to say that, you know what, back in 2025, there were fighting for
They got a I don't think so.
And I'm not just talking about our
Sorry guys, I do apologise. I've taken the mic with me at the moment so that when I go on stage you guys will be able to hear me nice and clearly, and I might, just thinking ahead, I might hang here and give the mic to each speaker as they go up, therefore you should be hearing the speaker as you're hearing me now rather than through the PA system. So hopefully that should make it a bit more listenable.
What I say is do it anyway. Yeah?
This is important. We cannot rely on our oppressors, the government, to police and restrain themselves. Just like that,
The next speakers, can I click this on them as they go, and then the live stream will have this instead of I've got permission to clip the mic on for the next speakers after this, so other than obviously what you're listening to now, everything else will be playing smoothly like this rather than through a PA system, so hopefully it won't be as echoey, as I know that sometimes that's an issue with big protests like this. so that when the other speakers come off, I'm going to click the mic on so that the live stream won't have the buzzing, so that they can just hear them clearly. So just. Well, I still agree. I really need to. Oh, David, I've got to get David on. I've got to mix it up. I'm going to get David on in a minute. Yeah, I'm just going to do together, then you, then David. So we're going to have 10 minutes, 12 max. Yeah, but he can stay in his chair until I need him.
But what about lobbying will funnel us into one silo that will be married to the wallet, to programmable digital central bank currencies, shared with private partners, corporations, banks and big tech, add in a social credit score, and you'll finally have a gateway to unquestioned, uncontrollable tyranny. They want one wallet for all your credentials, your ID, your license, your benefits, your medical records, your vaccination status. Digital convenience, they say. It'll become digital default, and that default will be digital enslavement. And your consent means nothing when refusal will become impossible. Eventually, you won't be able to work, travel, buy, sell, access healthcare without that digital ID. And when access is denied and the computer says no, who are we going to complain to? Once your ID becomes digital and becomes a digital token, your life becomes data. Your behavior becomes data. And data becomes control. This is how freedom is lost. One token at a time. One compliance at a time. And you all know this. You do not comply out of tyranny. It does not work. So folks, I'm not saying, this is not surrender. This is resolve. This is resistance. We will fight on. Not because victory is guaranteed, not because justice is promised, but because resisting tyranny is the only righteous path to take. There are numerous battlefields against humanity at present, multi-generational, multi-pronged, across all spectrums, all around us. But the most important battlefield is within us. To stay human, to stay awake, to stay rooted in truth, to live in the light, to reflect the light, and to be the light. I will not let the architects of the digital tyranny, who by the way aren't those people, I will not let them darken my soul. My strength is in clarity. My strength is in conscience. My strength is in the refusal to be broken. If justice comes, great. If justice is delayed, we will stand. If justice never comes in this world, the truth remains unchanged. And so I say this with absolute conviction. I refuse to give them my soul. And while I wait for the world to catch up, so do you. You will not give up your soul. The government's plan for digital ID will fail.
if we simply refuse to comply. Tyranny will collapse the moment we refuse to obey. Darkness loses the moment we choose to walk in the light. So I say stand firm, I say stand proud, and I say stand unbroken and remain in the light. My friend Eddie passed me a note. I don't know where he is in the crowd, and I just want to read it. It's the last thing I'm going to say. Remind the people how they will feel when we succeed, and we will.
All right, excited? I'm not even going to bother like introducing the next man. I'm just going to bring him straight out. This man, since 2021, I'm sorry, I think you probably all know who's in the doorway. It's good, right? I have no words, honestly. I listened to this man in 2020, and it was him that made me see that there was so much bullshit going on, and then I couldn't stop listening to him. And I've met him, and I've met his family, and he's a wonderful father, and he's a wonderful, wonderful human being that gives a shit, really, really cares, and once again just wants humanity to prevail. I said I wasn't going to introduce him, but I'm going to. My favourite man in the world, that my father's gone, and if I could replace him, it would be with this man. But David Icke, everybody!
Bloody hell, here we are, a bloody gang. I remember speaking up there just 100 yards away in Trafalgar Square during COVID, and here we are talking about digital ID. Well, that's COVID, that is, and this is digital ID. This is no. It's all part of a vast tapestry of human control, which I've been uncovering now for coming up 36 years, and people used to bloody laugh, but they laugh a lot less now, because the humorous, the ridiculous, the nutter is now unfolding before our eyes. And if we just stop and just consider what we call history, we will see that what is happening now is just an expression of what has always happened. Look through history. What is a massive common theme? That the few have always controlled the many. How is that possible? How is it possible for a relative handful in full knowledge of what they're doing to control and direct the lives of, we are told now, 8 billion people? Oh, they say it's not possible for a few to control the world. That's daft. Oh, really? Oh, really? So why has it always happened throughout human history? Because it's a very, very simple technique. Number one, you are the few and you want to control the many. If the many are united and in understanding of the agenda of the few, you have got no bloody chance. So, what do you need to do? First of all, you need to get your target population to believe unquestioningly and rigidly whatever you can get them to believe. And you don't want them all believing the same for reasons I'll come to. You just want them to believe in a religion, in a political ideology, in a culture that is believed rigidly and without question. Why? Well, many reasons, but first of all this one. Once you have a rigid, unquestioning belief system, you are denying yourself the exploration and the seeking more understanding outside of your rigid belief. If you have a religious belief, you will not go beyond the walls of that belief, because you will no longer be whatever you call yourself if you start exploring into the infinity of possibility. So, number one, you get people to believe anything. They don't bloody care what you believe, so long as you believe it rigidly and without question, because then they have put you in your own personal prison of the mind. And then, once they have these different belief systems, all focusing unquestioningly on what they have been manipulated to believe, you have the perfect situation to play off belief against belief, to divide and rule. And that combination of rigid belief and divide and rule has allowed the few to control the vastness of humanity throughout known human history. And people say, what's the solution? I'm not interested in solutions, because solutions invariably lead to other problems in need of still more solutions. What I'm interested in is the cause. What is the cause of the problem we wish to eliminate? Because if you remove the cause, you will remove the problem. What is the cause? The cause is founded on human perception. The whole conspiracy to enslave humanity is founded on human perception, because from perception comes behavior. You want to control human behavior, you control human perception. And the more little perceptions you have, the more divide and rule you have at your disposal. So, what we're talking about in relation to digital ID and the AI human fusion is control of perception. Up to this point, they have had to manipulate perception by manipulating and controlling information. We form our perceptions from information received. It might be the 10 o'clock news, it might be a Facebook post, it might be a personal experience. But from that information, we form our perception, which dictates our behavior. People gave their minds away to the COVID hoax. They lined up and put their arms out, and they went meekly into their homes under essentially house arrest. Why did they do that across the world? They did it because their perceptions had been hijacked. There was a deadly virus, and this is the throughout COVID did not wear a sodding mask, did not social distance. If people wanted to walk round me, they could walk round me. I wasn't frightened of them because I knew the whole thing was a load of bollocks. And I must have hugged thousands of people during COVID, and I never had so much as a bloody sniffle. And yet, in fear, manipulated fear of a deadly virus, we had a tiny few people dictating the lives. How? Because we do not have tyrannies, because the population is forced by tyranny to do what they want. Fascism, communism, tyranny is never brought in by fascists, communists and tyrants. Why? There's never enough of them. Fascism, communism, tyranny is brought in fascists, communists and tyrants. That's how it comes about. So if we are looking for the cause of the problem and therefore looking for the means of eliminating the problem, then what we do is we take back control of our perceptions. We insist that evidence is supporting what we're told to believe. We question everything. We decide what we believe. We don't get our perceptions and our beliefs off the shelf from authority or anybody else. We individually decide what we believe. Number two, we respect each other in the sense of we respect everyone coming to their own conclusions without having an effort to force our conclusions on them. And then what we do as a collective is we stop obeying tyranny. We stop obeying the authority that has come through the ages, and my God, this goes back so long, that's come through the ages to current times, more and more and more, imposing the will of the few on the many globally. We have to stop obeying authority. We have to stop cooperating with our own enslavement and the enslavement of our children and grandchildren. We have to come together and put down the fault lines of divide and rule. I don't care what religion you have. I don't care what political ideology you have. I don't care what cultural belief you have. I care about focusing all attention upon that which is seeking to control us all. This is not a force a global network I call the global cult. This is not a network that is targeting Christians and targeting Muslims or targeting this, that or whatever. Their focus is to play us off against each other so that we can all be controlled, while we can be divided so they, the few, can rule. That is the answer to removing the cause of the problem. Put down your irrelevant divisions of fault lines that divide us, and then we can look symbolically and see that all along the same hands have held the strings attached to all of us. That's the realization that will bring this down, because it is simple mathematics. 8 billion people cannot be controlled by a handful unless the billions give their power away to the few. Okay. Starmer, Mr. Puppet Man, Starmer, they're all puppet men in that, and puppet women in that house down the road. He comes out, he says, we've had a discussion and we've decided that digital ID is coming in. Okay, so where's your power, Mr. Starmer? Where is your power? Your power is only in human acquiescence of the population to your diktat and decision. If enough people say, we're not doing it, up yours, we're not having it. When enough people say that, when enough people do that, we'll see where the power has been all along. Ironically, it's never been with the few. It's always been with the many. But for reasons I've discussed and talked about here, the many have been manipulated into forgetting that basic fact. So here we are, because of that, we are staring in the eyes of the dragon to see a digital AI human fusion dystopia, the like of which this world has never seen in known human history. And what is that dystopia? It is to infiltrate the human mind with artificial intelligence. It's already happening, to the point where we no longer think our thoughts anymore. We no longer have our emotional responses anymore. We have theirs via AI. And anyone who thinks, and unfortunately some still do, that Elon Musk is your friend, he is pushing and pushing and pushing while telling you here what you want to hear. He's pushing this AI dystopia with all his mates, and you only have to go to Starmer down the road. Who is Starmer's handler? Tony Blair. Who is Tony Blair's handler? Larry Ellison, the media and AI billionaire. Supposedly Musk is the richest man in the world. Supposedly, Ellison is the second richest. And they have your best interests at heart. We are looking now, in a few years, if we don't unite and don't put down these fault lines of division at a level of control that beggars belief and imagination. Where, as Ray Kurzweil, the Google futurist kind of executive, who is articulating this, it will be great to be fused with AI. What has he said a few years ago? He said that by 2030, we are coming into 2026. By 2030, humanity will be attached to artificial intelligence, or it will have started, already has. And from then on, he said, his words, not mine, humanity, or AI, will do more and more of human thinking until human thinking is negligible. That's what we are staring in the face. And this digital ID with a digital currency dictating everything in our lives, what we can do and what we can't do, along with the AI human fusion, is a level of dystopia that is beyond the imagination. We still have the chance, because 8 billion cannot be controlled by a few unless the few acquiesce, or the many acquiesce to the few. It's not possible. So we can bring this down essentially overnight if enough people say we are not doing what you demand. And it's the division that stops that happening. So people want solutions. People want to remove the cause of the problem. Then it's in our hands to do so. And that means human race, for the first time in known human history, get off your freaking knees! No more! United! United, we are a lion. Divided, we are sheep. We have the answer. But are we going to take it? That's the question. Because united, we are the lion. And it's time that the lion that has been there sleeping throughout human history, that the lion sleeps no more. It's time, long past the time, and I say to anyone across the world who sees this, it's time for the lion to roar! Thank you.
Making some noise for David Icke. Come on, he's been right for 35 years. Exactly. He just doesn't get enough credit, right? He's so silenced and so suppressed because he's so right. And everyone needs to start listening to him. All the men in yellow back there, all the coppers standing in their twos. Why do they stand in twos? What is that about? You can't stand on your own? Maybe that's part of the problem. Anyway, I'm not a comedian, but I like to think I am quite funny sometimes. I don't know if you have gathered, I do not care anymore. This is the fight of our lives, but also we need to lighten it sometimes. So I'm going to welcome onto the stage, doing something different for you all, a wonderful, wonderful woman, a wonderful, wonderful free speech absolutist and comedian, Abby Roberts.
Hello, London! Woo! Give me a cheer if you're under 30. Woo! Fuck you! With your dreams and clothes that fit. So are we all okay? Yeah? Thanks, great to be here. Really honoured to stand here before you 5 years into the shit show, the utter shit show that the world has become. You know, I've been through so much the last 5 years that I've realised that in certain lights I've started to resemble Susan Boyle. Don't know if I can't do it for you. I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high and life worth living. There's been a murder. Great, thanks. Thanks to the tyranny for making me look like Susan Boyle. So much. Give me a cheer if your name's John. Right. Lovely Johns over here. Give me a cheer if your name's Sarah. Yeah. Yes. Few Sarahs over here. Give me a cheer if your name's Chris. Lots of Chris's. But you know what? You're all individuals. You're not a group. You've all got different taste in music, politics, different faith. And that is what digital ID, difficult to say when you're a bit pissed, ID, very hard. That's what they're trying to eradicate. The individual, the sovereign individual under God. Before, lovely though, first time for everything. And we've got the other march over here, protest, talking about Christ as King, put the Christ back into Christianity. Let me tell you something, and I'm a Christian, right? I love it, it's a bit surreal following David Icke. And then, while David's talking, hearing away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head.
Guys, I really do need to talk to you guys honestly for a moment. You know, this channel means everything to me, right? It means absolutely the world to me. I give everything I can. I think it's my favorite part of the day, sitting here and reporting to you guys, or going outside and doing heavy reports outside. And I've been doing this since I was 14, on and off. I've quit multiple times, I've come back, I've quit, I've come back, and now I'm here, and we're here to stay. This is the next 40 years plan for me. But honestly, lately, it's been really heavy on me. Not the work, of course, I enjoy doing this, but carrying the work alone, fighting for stories, trying to highlight these stories that matters, especially when it feels like nobody's listening and need your help. I wouldn't be asking if I truly didn't need your support. So if you believe in what we're doing here, if you believe in what I'm doing, what we're trying to build the next 30 years, if you've ever felt like this show speaks for you, I'm asking you as a friend, please keep this show going. Your support will mean more than you will ever know. And together we can finally wake up the ones who are still asleep with the truth, because the nation is desperately asking for it. So please, hit the first link in the description if you can and support the channel. Thank you so much. Let's get back into the video.
Imagine a little string of gossamer, the finest thread. We are all linked to the transcendent, all of us, whether we believe or not. And the people right at the top, whoever you want to call them, WEF, WHO, CIA, FBI, all the three letters, we must not let them do it. It is existential, it is part of who we are. We are not numbers. In fact, I'd like us to all say that together. I'd like you to say it after me. I am not a number. I am a human being. And once more, I am not a number. I am a human being. We are flesh and blood and bone and heart and passion and grief and anger and fury. We are not cattle. We are not cattle to be funneled into a fucking pen by people who do not understand the transcendent, do not understand that every single person here, and I love you all, I can't see your faces very well because I'm a bit short-sighted, but you beautiful, beautiful people, every single one of you has a divine spark, a divine flame, and those people are trying to blow it out. The icy wind of tyranny, tyranny even, the icy wind of tyranny, what a bit Irish there, the icy wind of tyranny trying to blow the divine spark out, and we must not allow them. And you know something? It's all connected. My lovely nephew said, what's wrong with digital ID? Auntie Abby, explain. And I said, well, like the lockdowns, like the masks, and like the injections, they all have one thing in common. They seek to dehumanize us. Dehumanize us. Dehumanize us. The human race, being a human being, is beautiful. It's one of the greatest gifts that God has given us. The freedom to speak unmuzzled. The freedom to move about and to hug each other and love each other without having injections, state-sanctioned injections. I knew the evil, the utter evil, was upon us when the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, do you remember when he said, with the vaccine rollout, the so-called vaccine, the gene therapy, he said to love one another, and this is a direct quote by the way, to love one another as Jesus said, get vaccinated, get boosted. Now, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I'm pretty fucking sure that Jesus Christ never said that in one of his sermons. That's when I knew, I mean, obviously the evil that we'd witnessed from 2020 onwards, we knew, didn't we? We knew that it was something really, really, really terrible. And that is their aim, is to get us all into Saved by the Bell. The aim is to get us all into this pen, funnel us into this pen. And I want to go back to the vaccines, because that's something, which really makes me rage. So aside, my greatest wish, my dearest wish, other than them not to succeed with digitising us, taking the analogue, we are analogue, everyone. Great records. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. The crack in the voice, the urethra. Oh, think I shall do me. The cracks, the beautiful crack in the voice is because we're analogue, and they are trying to put digital on top of us. And for that, it'll never fucking work. It'll never work because we're not designed that way. So, as David Icke rightly said, they will fail. As David Curtin said, they will fail. I was very disappointed. I've been in the music business. I'm a massive fan of country music. Dolly Parton, Dolly fucking Parton. When she peddled the COVID vaccines, COVID injections. I've got a little version of what she did. Do you want to hear it? Here you go. Okay. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging you, please just get the jab. It may cause blood clots in your legs and fry your brain and leave you dead, but I don't don't give a fuck, cause I've been paid. What an absolute Andy Lane page. We say, vaccine, you couldn't pay me enough money. You couldn't pay me enough money to become a boot-licking cunt for Big Pharma. You literally... a blank check would not make me want to participate in global genocide, because that's what it is. We mustn't forget that part, by the way, everyone. In this, it's all linked, you know, all linked together. This tyranny, this authoritarianism, this desire to make human beings into serfs. If Stalin had the technology, don't know how much you know about your Russian history. I happen to speak Russian. Добрый день, как дела, хорошо. Anyway, that's a side issue. If Stalin had the technology that we do now, he would do exactly the same thing, right? With lockdowns, with muzzles, with vaccines, with digital ID, exactly the same thing. Do you know there's no word in Russian for privacy? There is no word in Russian. Because Stalin, the Bolsheviks and the Stalin took it out of the dictionary. So there's no concept of being private. Mao, Chairman Mao, again, similar thing. He would do the same thing to us. So, my nephew, this is how I want to kind of wrap up my, I don't know what it is, speech / stand-up. It's very difficult, because I'm talking about hugely important things, you know. My nephew said, well, what's the solution, Auntie Abs? What's the solution? You know, because we hear a lot about the doom gloom. Oh my God, we're all going to have to be fucking stamped and, you know, have barcodes like tins of soup. You know, go through, blip, blip, just all like being blipped through the supermarket. And this is what I think is the solution. I'm going to go back to our Russian friends living under Stalin. They found a way to navigate under the tyranny, through it. They navigated through it with catacombs, with their faith, with creativity, with art. So think, digital means machine. It means not human. And I think that we need an analog revolution. I think we need, in all seriousness, so if anyone wants to think about what they invest in, paper, books. Get your children, any young people, read books, write books, paint, do comedy, write songs, listen to music, preferably on vinyl and CDs. You know, this is what we need to preserve, is the analog. And that way, I think because if they're going to do it, I don't mean to sound defeated, because despair is a mortal sin, everyone. So when you speak to children, give them hope. You know, living in hope is about meaning, finding meaning in life. You know, Václav Havel, the Czechoslovakian dissident, you know, who was tortured and imprisoned under the Soviets, under the communists. He said that hope is about meaning. Hope is not about the consequences and that everything is going to be okay. The act of hoping is living with meaning and truth. And that's why I think all of us, maybe not people here today, but in general the world has lost touch with meaning, with purpose. What is it to be human? What is it to be human, and not constantly on social media creating our own prison? Crikey, I've said quite a lot. I hadn't even really planned to say all that. But does that make sense to people? So what I'm saying to you is even, by the way, the Russians, Putin has just tightened his digital ID. I love Russians, by the way. I speak fluent Russian. I love the Russian people, but Putin has tightened regulations to be similar to China, and so is Australia, New Zealand. This is a global coup. This is a global communist coup. So what I'm saying to you is, if they do what they're going to do, then we have to think outside the box, like our wonderful Russian dissidents, Czech dissidents, people that lived in East Germany, you know, with their papier and bitte, you know, the old films, papers please, papier bitte, Russian, bumажки пожалуйста. We do not want to become a papers please society, because that is dehumanizing, and that is not what we are. So, I think I've probably said enough. You know, you've had David Icahn before me, and then some girl with crazy hair has come on and talked about Russian history. God bless you all, and have a very, very, very Merry Christmas. And do not despair. Do not despair. God bless you all. Thank you very much for having me.
I wanted to do something a little bit different today, guys. We've only got 3 more speakers left, and I appreciate you hanging around. I know it feels like 9 PM, but it's only 4:30. So I'm like, I've just had a rant to someone on camera, and I don't know who that dude is. What was your name? Is he still there, the guy that just spoke to me? No, right, okay, whatever. I'm just going to say what I said to that guy on camera. About protests and about people that sit at home and actually just do nothing all day long. They just do nothing. They just talk on Facebook and just do nothing, and Facebook is a cesspit. And they just talk and talk and talk and talk on Facebook and do videos and say things like, mandatory is not law. If you think you're getting out of this on a technicality, you really don't know what the problem is. And that is the biggest problem. And I don't want to slate people's opinions and stuff, and people talk about common law in the realm of England and blah, blah, blah. It is above that level. Nobody is going to get out of this when they sit at home chatting about mandatory not meaning law and blah, 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 because look what they did during COVID, and that was just a test. Look at the jab, that was just a test. With the mask, it was all a test. So I'm actually getting quite sick and tired of people sitting on their asses doing nothing, because protest works. That's why they're doing what they've done today. They've put Israel-funded protests right behind us to scream and shout and make noise all day, to disrupt it all day. They've done it to divide, to conquer, on social media, so we're all going, oh, which one are you going to go to? I'm not going to go because there's going to be trouble because everyone's chicken shit. I'm actually really fucking sick of it, to be honest with you. But anyway, I'm going to stop ranting because I'm inspired by somebody, and I said to her the other day, she knows I'm not lying, she's 21 years old, and I've watched her for the last year, and I think this woman, sorry, I don't want to call you a girl, I feel bad. I'm 40, she's 21, but she's amazing, and I know that she is the future, because I've watched her grow in just 1 year. I have seen her just, your mind is incredible, and you're inspiring, and I am looking forward to seeing her grow, because I think, you know, sometimes we need to pass the baton on in some way. But this 21-year-old independent journalist is absolutely incredible. Please give a massive round of applause for Emma Dunwell, please. Emma speaks freely.
Hi everyone. This is definitely a first for me. I'm usually behind the camera, not in front of it, so I'll try not to keep you too long. We're all cold. It's getting dark now, so yeah, I mean, one of the things that they've managed to convince everyone, well, not us, here, is that this is for illegal immigration. They want you, oh, here we go, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. They want you to willfully hand over your rights because you're so scared and so fearful of the mass sways of illegals that they're allowing, purposefully allowing, into this country. We know that it's all a lie. This was purposefully orchestrated in order to bring about digital ID. We all know that by now. And we all know that there's no difference. Labour, Conservative, they're all the same. They are all puppeted by the same people. But one thing that concerns me that they've managed to convince people is now to advocate for the exit of the ECHR. Now I know, after hearing about so many terrorists that have avoided deportation because their child doesn't like foreign chicken nuggets, and they tell you that it's always because of the ECHR, you start to dislike that document. But the ECHR allows us to have the values that we hold dear. Without the ECHR, citizen journalism wouldn't exist. I quote the ECHR articles sometimes when I'm out in the field. The right, Article 11, the right in order to be able to observe and report on a protest without the police arresting you for filming them. It's the ECHR that allows me to film the police. You can't do that in China. I don't even think you could do that in France. These are the things that they want us to give up, and they want us to do it with a smile on our faces. So if there's one thing that I will say, because I really don't want to keep you guys too long, I know that the day's run long, but if there's one thing that I will say is if they want our biometrics, and if they want our history, our medical history and everything, then they can come and get it over our cold, unverified, dead bodies, and not a moment before. And just to leave you all is, we all know that I guarantee each one of us has a couple of family members at home that still call us skeptics. Go and tell them to look at the Canada's truckers protest in Canada in 2022, what Trudeau did, freezing the banks of anyone who donated any more than $20 to the GoFundMe, the GovUK One Login, the trial that none of us asked for. And if they want to keep bringing this in, then we will have to keep showing up day after day, week after week, cold, light, dark, warm, whatever. We will be here saying not in our name, not with our faces, and not on our watch. Thank you all for listening.
See, I told you. And she's going to keep getting better and better and better. Now the next man that's speaking, I mean, he's probably going to say some of the most powerful stuff you're going to hear. I mean, second to David Icke, no offence. But the facts inside this man's head, what he's done, his journalism, his research, his geopolitical analysis. This is a man that we all need to listen to. But I want you, we've got one more speaker after that, by the way. I've got one more. So he's second to last, and I need you all to listen and pay attention to him. He was meant to have something on the screen, but we can't do that. I'm really sorry the video's broken. Okay? Is that right? So I can't show you. No, don't want to reset. It takes 20 minutes to reset. You're not going to wait for that. Anyway, I want you to welcome to the stage for the first time, because he doesn't do this, he doesn't do public speaking, so I want you to make loads of noise. And you're a bit sparse, guys. Can you kind of come in a little bit with each other? Can we kind of move in a bit? Come on, move in, get friendly. You know, no one's got a virus, have they? All right? Hug each other, do you know what I mean? Get some sage out. Anyway, please welcome to the stage, give him a massive round of applause, because this is the first time he's done it, Ian Davis.
Hello, how are you? I'm not used to this. But this is really important, and the reason that I'm here, I don't generally do protests because I don't believe in protesting against something that you can't change, which is the government. But this is really important because we need to stand against digital ID. Digital ID has been in plan, the plan has been in place since 2014, at least, when ID 2020 came together and decided that we were all going to be subjected to digital ID. ID 2020 is a public-private partnership. It is a partnership between essentially the United Nations, a load of private companies like Microsoft, like Block, like Hewlett-Packard Foundation, like the Rockefeller Foundation. These are the people that are driving the agenda for digital ID. The government has got nothing to do with digital ID rollout. The government is doing what it is told. The government is just an enabling partner.
It is subservient to the powers that direct it. Keir Starmer couldn't tie his own shoelaces. Keir Starmer is a trilateralist commission representative. He is not a representative of the British people in any way, shape or form. He is doing what his masters tell him to do. Now, he has presented to us the ridiculous and preposterous Brits card. Brits card is a digital ID product. It is a vendor agnostic digital ID product. It is not digital ID. Digital ID is a network of interoperable digital ID products. If we are going to stand against digital ID, rejecting BritCard, appealing to the government not to roll out BritCard makes no difference whatsoever. It doesn't change anything. If we are going to stand against digital ID, then what we need to do is not comply with the entire system. Now that is going to be difficult because we are already subject to the system. We've all got driving licenses. We've all, probably most of us have got passports. We've all got some aspects of digital ID. Your driving license has got a machine readable zone on it. You have got your biometric face is on your driving license. The government has passed legislation to ensure that it can hoover up your biometric digital ID face. 55 million drivers are going to be entered into the digital ID system. Now we can stand against it through mass non-compliance, but we have to be serious in thinking about what that will entail, because what it will not entail is voting for another political party. It will not entail us choosing not to use one login, not choosing not to have the BritCard. These things are very, very important. But in order for us to not comply, what we have to do is, I'm afraid there's no way around this, we have to change our lifestyles. We have to think about how we are going to survive, and I mean that seriously, because if we have digital ID, what will come very, very shortly after that is programmable digital money. And when those two things are linked together, when you become a tokenized human being on a universal ledger controlled by organisations like the Bank for International Settlements, it really won't really matter what decisions we make about politics when they control what we buy, where we buy it, who we buy it from, where they control how long our money continues to exist, where they put time limits on it, when they geo-fence where we can spend our money. If you're thinking about the concept of the 15-minute city, the 15-minute city is not going to put a wall around you. Your money and your digital ID will be geo-fenced. Now this sounds like insane dystopian stuff, were it not for the fact that the United Nations, the Bank for International Settlements, and all the global corporations that are involved in rolling this out have written documents about it. They publish documents about it. This is not secret, what I'm talking about. This is public domain knowledge, and we need to share that with as many people as possible. We have to get this information out. People need to know what they are being sucked into, and it's not got anything to do with the government. This is a global project. Now, when SDG 16.9 was announced, what the UN said was that they wanted the world to have, everybody in the world had a right, they said, had a right to have an identity, a legal identity from birth. The UN is an utterly duplicitous organisation. The UN is basically commanding a global centralised public-private partnership. admitted that it no longer served the interests of governments but of business. This is the network, the global network, that is trying to control us. And it is the global network that, believe it or not, we have to defeat. But we can defeat it if we do not comply. If we do not go along with their plans, they won't work. Why do you think they spend so much time and so much money trying to convince us to do what they want us to do? They do this because they fear us. We are the thing that they wish to control, because we are the people who can stand against them and deny their authority, their claimed authority. We can do it, but we need to be serious about how we are going to do it. It's just the small things that we do. We don't have to use our cards when we buy something. We can use cash. We don't have to use store cards when we get a better deal. When they roll out, as they will, programmable digital money, it will come with all kinds of benefits. You'll be able to get products cheaper, it will be easier to buy things, you'll get benefits, you'll get better interest rates, you'll get all the bells, all the whistles. That's how they will sell it. But it is a slave system. It is a system of slavery. They want to take away our agency. They want to make us their programmable tokens on a unified ledger. Now, there are companies around the world, Microsoft, Palantir, Oracle, that are fully openly admitting what they are doing. Larry Ellison from Oracle said that we will all be on our best behaviour because they, meaning Oracle and his business partners, Larry Ellison's business partners, for whom Tony Blair is a bought and paid for puppet, will be watching everything we do. Are we really going to allow that? Are we really going to allow that? Right. So what we need to do, if we are not going to allow it, is fight back through every peaceable and lawful means at our disposal. And the first thing we have to do is not comply. Not comply. Ever. We don't comply with authoritarian diktats from global corporations. They don't own us. The concept that they are trying to foist upon us is that they do own us. And if we cross that Rubicon, if we do go over onto the dark side of what we might call the technocratic dark state, if we do that, then they will own us. Seriously, they will own us. We will be products. We will be tokenized assets to be traded globally. Our data to be harvested. Us, human beings, reduced to digits on a bank's balance sheet. We can't afford to do that. And that means that we have to be serious about how we stand against this. It's going to mean sacrifice. It's going to mean a bit of pain. It's going to mean a bit of hardship. But if we stand up now, then we will not be condemning our children to slavery. If we don't stand up now, we will be condemning our children to slavery. No, none of us, and I know none of you here, and the reason that you're here is because you know that and you're not prepared to do it. Now we need to, after this wonderful event that's been put on by Fiona, and very thanks to her for doing this, because it's come at a lot of personal cost to her. What matters is that when we go away from here and we go back to our homes and our communities, is that we tell as many people as we can about this. We need to organise in our communities and get this message out. We need to tell friends, loved ones, family. We need to tell everybody we can about the reality of what is happening, because we're not going to hear it on the BBC, we're not going to hear it from the government. The government is lying to us, it's lied to us constantly, and it is lying to us at the moment about the nature of digital ID, because what they are selling as digital ID is not digital ID. It is an interoperable network. Companies like Palantir, the government have already bought the software. Palantir Gotham makes what they call disparate databases. So if you think about the database that the DVLA has got with your driving licence, and the database that your commercial bank has got with your bank card, those databases are not linked. Government has already bought Palantir Gotham, which it hasn't mentioned to anybody, which makes those databases interoperable. So now your driving licence is linked to your bank card. And when they bring in digital programmable money, that is the end of freedom. We can't afford to let that happen. So, I have brought the tone right down. We've had some great people speaking, but we do need to be serious about this. We really do. This is not a joking matter, I'm afraid. That doesn't mean we can't have a laugh, and it doesn't mean we can't have a bit of fun. We don't have to have miserable lives. I mean, what do we need to have a decent quality of life? We just need friends, family, love, a few beers maybe, a bit of a laugh. That's all we need. We don't need all this shit that they want us to swallow. And we're not going to swallow it, are we? Okay. Well, thanks very much. Cheers.
See, first time public speaking like this, I think that was pretty epic, and that information. And I'm gutted, guys, the video is broken. I've got to say this to the camera so no one thinks that I've done anything to sabotage it. But we did have Catherine Austin Fitz and Mike Yeadon on video, and I'm so sorry that we don't have them, but we will get them put out for you, because the amazing Phil Wiseman of Oracle Films is here filming us today. So this will all be, yeah, give a round of applause for Phil Wiseman of Oracle Films. I love making him nervous. I love making him nervous. So this is our last speaker of, it's like it's 10 p.m, but it's not. Our last speaker for today. I want to thank you all for coming out, but I don't want you to leave just after the next one walks off stage, because I've got something planned, and I'm probably going to embarrass myself forever, but I actually don't care. Because I agree with Ian, we have to have some happiness, but we do have to take stuff seriously. So, anyway, don't leave after this one, but we have up next an amazing man from the front line fighting for truth for 20 years. He is the founder of 21st Century Wire and a co-host at UK Column, and your headline speaker this evening, Patrick Henningsen. Make some noise!
Get warm, everybody. Start hugging each other. Listen, a lot's been said tonight. A lot's been said. Great things have been said. There's plenty of things that we need to do. We've got a to-do list now. But the thing you really need to understand about this issue is that the digital ID system is already live. It's already live. They're sharing data between programs and departments. Your data, your NHS data, your health data, your sexual health data. Just imagine. This is already happening. It was implemented by the last two governments. And this is the government that's going to take the ball over the goal line. If we let them take it over the goal line. But what's the lesson? What's the lesson there? This is not a left or right issue. It's not a Labour or Tory or Reform or whatever issue. This is quite clearly the situation we're facing is an up and down issue. It's the top